What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. I am Wayno. It's Monday. I hope y'all energy is up. I hope y'all feeling good. I hope y'all had a good weekend. We about to talk about Gunna, but before we start talking about Gunna, make sure you hit that sub button, run them likes up. So Gunna dropped this album, The Last One. The Last One. First and foremost, before we go any further, I want everybody to know that Thug did not say nobody want to hear that shit. That was not him. That was a fake tweet. People get fooled by fake tweets every day, and we got to do a little bit better before we start believing that something is bad just because we want to see bad shit happen. Thug ain't say that. Not like we don't believe that Thug never said or don't feel nothing towards Gunna, because we understand why. We seen why, we understand why. Whether we agree with it or not, that's personal to us. But do we understand why he feels away? Of course we do. Now let's move on. Like I said, Gunna dropped his his newest album, The Last One. Got me to thinking. Cause everybody, we all, yo, why he can't work with Weezy no more? Damn, he ain't working with him no more. Damn. Him and Drake ain't work again. Him and Savage, him and Baby, him and Future, him and Thug. To keep it all the way 1,000, Gunna don't need none of them. And I say that with all due respect. Cause all of them matter like a motherfucker. Like, let's just call it what it is. Savage, to me, quiet as kept, is my favorite rapper from Atlanta currently, because he stays away from all the bullshit, stays away from it, and every time Savage come back around, he finds a way to do something interesting with his music to make people listen. I also like the fact that he's violent. Yes, I said that. I also like the fact that Savage makes violent music. I grew up on Styles P. Savage reminds me a lot of Styles P, but he always will give you something to listen to in his bars. But we like to hear we like to hear that shit from them. I like that from him. Baby to me is one of the most skilled, yes, one of the most best rappers from Atlanta. Whether you choose to realize that or not. Yes, because I grew up on the Locks and all these other guys, I do like how Lil Baby raps. I think y'all should listen to his albums. But Lil Baby, his space, I think his space has been faltering over the past couple of years for two reasons: perception and also beat selection. Beat selection has had people say, damn, he rap over the same beat, but most of them rap over the same beats. But I think people just want to find reasons to not like Lil Baby for their own personal things. Future, Savage, love you, my nigga. Future, though, Future, one of my favorite rappers ever. One of my favorite rappers ever, right? One of the best at making hit records, talking about the streets, talking about pain from his certain perspective. Then I get into the club joints, because I don't listen to Future for club records. I listen to Future for his perspective of the streets. Got Thug. Playboi Carti, to me, I think he goes into the conversation, but he's in another stratosphere as far as stardom, right? He had taken himself away from everybody for a long time and built up his own space within hip hop that it's like he occupies that alone. But Gunna, for him to have faced all the adversity that he's faced, you know what I'm saying, have been doubted, changed his appearance like a motherfucker too. Let's just keep it 1,000. We did not think that, and I believe, and I think, I could almost say I know for a fact, before Gunna went to jail, that nigga couldn't do 10 push-ups. I'm gonna put myself out there. One day I ask him if I see him. I do not believe that man could do 10 push-ups before he went to prison. But since he came home, and let me clear that up, because wait, no, I was in prison, I was the county. Okay, I get it. I'm not a jail nigga, whatever. But since he came home, let's just go through a few things that Gunna's accomplished since he's been home. Let's do that right quick for the people that say he need people or he gotta have this or he gotta have that, right? Let's just go through that right quick. Gunna's album, DS Forever, platinum. Drip or Drown 2, platinum. A Gift and a Curse, the album after he came home, platinum. Wonder album, platinum. Drip Season 3, platinum. Fuck You Mean, 4 times platinum. Power P, well, P Power, 3 times platinum. Of course, that dude got Drake on it. Proud of Them, him and Offset. Gold, probably gonna approach platinum. Him and Offset got another record on his album too, right? On his Last One album. They got another record together. And when I was on stream and we was listening to it, somebody said something about Offset. I said, oh, hold up. Thing about Offset is he going through the same shit, not the same exact shit, but the same black sheep space that Gunna's in. Why? Because his problems with Baby. You know what I mean? Where everybody, when he had that situation with Baby, I mean, we ain't got to go back down through the timeline. The Dice Game is a bunch of stories from him and her about what happened that night. The Dice Game, you know what I'm saying? I worked at QC. He wanted to be off of QC at the time. I'll tell y'all my QC stories one day too. But Offset can't get no features neither from none of these guys. I don't think none of these people be messing with Offset neither. I mean, Thug said what Wham says goes. Offset had a whole album with Metro Boomin and 21 Savage without warning, which was fire. And we never, like, after that situation, we never even heard no more songs with them ever again. I don't even think that Metro never even did another beat for Offset again. You know what I'm saying? But Gunna has solidified himself as one of the top artists in Atlanta, but in the game in the past 2 years through music. Through music. Through rapping. When people say rapping, that Gunna can't rap like Jadakiss. I'm not saying that. That's not the point I'm making here. I'm saying that the way he does it, he's found a science. I'm saying he's found a science. His appearance, the perception. I think in today's life, people look at street shit as the dumbest stuff ever. I know for my own self, don't get me wrong, I got tons of friends that I answer their calls, calling me from the feds, calling me from the state, whatever, love them to death. When you start talking about a lot of the stuff that they're going through, subjectively, a lot of it is dumb. A lot of people end up in tough circumstances that lead them to prison. Is everything people trying to be tough? Not necessarily. But when you have the overall conversation about what's went on over the past years, right, in music and social media, especially with the whole YFN and YSL situation, Gunna has not rapped in any of them veins. He hasn't said nothing on no gangster shit, and he can't. Like, let's just keep it 1,000. Just from his what he have on his jacket, what people consider him currently, they consider him a rat and all of that shit. I don't think he's gonna talk within that space because it's gonna be viewed a certain way. But I think that's the intelligent part about Gunna more than anything, understanding branding. And I think a lot of artists do not understand their space in the branding sphere as opposed to the rapping sphere. See, Gunna changing his appearance, no longer you seeing him with double cups and all of that. I don't think that would have been acceptable. I do not think that would have been acceptable while he was with YSL. I don't think like him taking care of his skin. And this is not no disrespect to none of them brothers because Duke is my nigga. I got love for Duke. That's my dog. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't being the exemplary like people of health or none of that shit. Today I did good. Certain types of records that he made, I ain't been eating no bullshit. Like certain things that he's saying, his lifestyle has changed in front of our eyes. And I think that the ones in the street, while they loved what came prior, y'all ain't the ones that's going to spend that bread on a ticket to go see niggas. Like, y'all ain't paying for no shows. Y'all ain't going to no shows. Y'all do not make up the back end of what no artist is getting. Y'all listen and y'all talk like most people. But Gunna has defeated a lot of the shit that's been put ahead of him. And like I said, him and Offset's common denominator is that I feel like both of them, people look at them like, in Atlanta, people look like, don't nobody fuck with them. But they still getting it together, right? Now, this album has joints on it. It's a long-ass album. 25 songs, technically 23. I'll put the last two as bonuses because they was out prior, right? But GP, just say that. Let that sink in. Sak Basse, right? Shout out to the Haitians. If you watch my channel, you Haitian, Sak Basse, right? Prototype. I mean, who getting F the night with Burna Boy? This the thing. Him and Burna Boy got a record. Not discounting none of the stuff that he's done with the Futures, the Babies, because him and Baby got a diamond record with Drip Too Hard. You know what I'm saying? That was a cultural impact. I mean, record streaming versus record selling is two totally different worlds to comparing eras. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to compare eras, but it's still a diamond record. That was a cultural moment. You know what I'm saying? That was a cultural moment. That record is about damn near 10 years old now. But he got Wizkid on the album, Nietzsche on the album, Asake on the album. You know what I mean? And I think that, like, for people that listen to Gunna, because if you're a casual listener, you're gonna say all his beats is the same. He don't be talking about nothing. What do he be talking about? He say the same flow. He did it because you're a casual listener. If you listen to what he be saying, he be talking about his life. And I think that's the thing that changed mostly. The perspective in his life. Before, he was talking about street shit. Before, he was rap, and it was fun. Let's not act like Ski wasn't a fun record or Hot wasn't a fun record. These is records that wasn't just some street shit. They was fun records. But now, I mean, shit, I don't even think he'd get a Travis Scott feature. Matter of fact, I could see Travis Scott doing a record with Gunna again. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like it's this somewhat boys club within these pockets of hip hop where they just like, don't mess with him, or don't mess with her, don't do nothing with them, or I ain't doing nothing with them, or I ain't doing nothing with them until this person say it. It's music. Y'all can do what y'all want. Y'all niggas is not in the mafia. I want to repeat to each and every one of y'all, anybody who's watching this, if you are in music, if you do music, you are not in the mafia. If you are signed to a label, you're not in the mafia. You do music. You're an artist. You're supposed to create. You're not going down with no, like, stop it. Y'all have to stop acting like y'all on some Gambino shit. Y'all not. Y'all niggas rap and sing for a living and dance, depending on who we talking about. Leave that there. Back to Gunna. He don't need none of these niggas. Now, I do feel like there are subtle shots on this album. Subtle shots. Are they like direct? No. Dude tweeting my name, it must have been a typo. We all know that Thug tweeted your name, my nigga. We know that Thug tweeted your name. You feel me? We know that Thug was on you. We know that Thug don't like you. You know what I mean? We know all of that. But one of them that I'm paying attention to, and I could be, I'm not trying to stir nothing up, but I'm just looking at this because I look at trends and who sets them. Lil Baby. Lil Baby made it popular when he changed his record label name from 4PF to Can't Be Fucked With. Gunna has a song on here called CFWM, Can't Fuck With Me. I ain't pointing no elbow. Nah, I'm playing. Because I'm really not trying to be one of those people that stirs up conflict between black men. That's not my thing. But I'm just saying, nobody uses that acronym. Nobody was saying can't be fucked with until Baby. In that vein, in his generation, I know somebody could go look back and look up some bars from 1999 and say, Cannabis said can't be fucked with. Like, you know how y'all do, man. Y'all try to pick and dissect everything apart, but I'm just keeping it 1,000. I think that this album is a message, not in a hip hop way that's like throwing darts on some gangster shit or nothing. I think that this album, calling it the last one, the records that he has on here, the features that he has on here, Nietzsche on there, salute to Nietzsche, that's my guy. I like Nietzsche, you know what I'm saying? I like him as an artist. Need to put out the tape though, Nietzsche, you know what I mean? Get back to it. I feel like it's a statement in the sense of it potentially being the last album on YSL. It's a statement with the type of records he's doing because, I mean, he's been on a different wave, you know what I mean, with 101 and Giving the Curse and all that as far as how he's changed his music, but him doing records like Burna Boy, which we ain't gonna talk about that, but him doing records with Burna Boy, you know what I'm saying, him doing records with Burna Boy, it shows where he's going. I feel like Atlanta has run shit for so long. And don't get me wrong, like you got the young ones coming up like like Pluto, the young girl Pluto. You know what I'm saying? You got a few artists coming out the city of Atlanta that I think have potential, you know what I'm saying? But in his space, he's now like, because I don't think he's negated or left Atlanta alone. You know what I'm saying? Because he has them joints that's going to rock Atlanta. but I think that he's going for something else. I feel like he's trying to reach another stratosphere with his artistry, and he wants to put himself in a new space to compete. Now, I want to go back to Thug for a moment. Thing with Thug is that ever since they've both come home and Thug hasn't been putting out music like that, and I don't think that Thug is waiting on Gunna, because I see like numerous people say that like, oh, he just waiting on Gunna to see what he gonna do, you know what I mean, to see what he gonna do. I don't think Thug is thinking of it from that standpoint. I don't know what's taking Thug so long, but people are gonna compare them because people can't understand why Thug is no longer working with him and Gunna moving like this. So did Gunna need Thug or did Thug need Gunna? And I think it's a bit unfair because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I wasn't a fan of Thug from day one. You know what I'm saying? As far as like records like Danny Glover, records like Halftime. Halftime, one of my favorite records from, I love that video too. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like just because they don't work together anymore that makes me less of a fan of Thug because he hasn't put out music. You get what I'm saying? Him and Future put out that record, Money on Money. I think Money on Money did what it was supposed to do, but it wasn't a bona fide hit. I think it was a good idea, it looked good and all of that shit. But, you know, this video, this episode is more so about Gunna, but I'm only addressing Thug because that's going to be the conversation constantly online. By the time Thug does drop an album, keep in mind that they still work with all the same people. Thug still works with 300. You know what I'm saying? Like Gunna is signed to 300. I don't know if Gunna has a A&R that works directly on his stuff, or Thug has an A&R that works directly on his stuff, but they both are speaking with the same chairman or the person that's running, Salim. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Salim, very good guy over there at 300. But it's going to be interesting. I ain't going to front. This shit is going to get interesting because he's carved a new space. And now people is putting that magnifying glass up. Now people is putting that magnifying glass on all of them from a fan standpoint and saying, yeah, I need to go fuck. I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all need to go fuck with Gunna. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's somewhat of the space that people looking at it. And also look at this. He's just, you know what I mean, in Atlanta enjoying himself.
You may have this let me get that up. I brought it. And a bunch of freaking. You can't see me. We go. Yeah.
And that's how you pop your shit. When your actions reflect your words, you know what I'm saying? When your actions reflect your words, what I mean is him being active is a byproduct of the words he been putting out, which is that music. This is I Do It Myself. For the ones that rock with me, know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually you will. I hope y'all like that episode. If you did, hit that sub button. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.